Well, welcome to August. I am so excited to be here with you this morning. We're going to talk about some fun things today that you may or may not have heard before. But first of all, let me know if you're watching with us live or if you're watching the replay. So I just love to know who I'm talking to on these Mondays when I come on here. I am here and I trust that you're listening, but I just love to know who's actually connecting with me. So now, if you have been with me for any length of time, I know you've heard the phrase, all disease begins in the gut, right? Well, this past year, I've had my own gut health issues that have kind of come out of nowhere. And I've had to go back and start over with some of the basics that I teach everybody else to do. So if you're struggling with anything from weight loss resistance to belly fat to skin conditions to inflammation, brain fog, frequent illnesses, any of the above, I really want you to pay close attention today, because at the root of all of these is the health or lack thereof of your digestion, your absorption, or your elimination. Basically, the health of your gut. Now, throughout the month of August, we're going to be diving into the most cutting edge insights on the topic of gut health, because it affects everything that I just mentioned. And more importantly, because 70% of your immune system is located in your gut. And in order to help you fight off the viruses that you need, you have to have a healthy and diverse microbiome. Now, let's face it, COVID-19, that was just the start. If you think we're done with viruses and pandemics, then we're not. I'm just here to tell you that there's a whole lot more to come. And I want to empower you to be prepared for what's coming down the pike. And it's only just a few months away. I'm Margie Setterloff, physical therapist, functional medicine practitioner, and founder of Sunlight Health, where we believe in using food as medicine and in God's promise of radiant health and grace-filled aging for his children. Now, when it comes to gut health, I'm here to tell you that we can eat all the right healing foods. We can take all the super antioxidants, anti-inflammatory supplements, even the latest and greatest probiotics. But the key here is, are those foods and supplements getting where they need to go to create the results that we're looking for? If your gut health is compromised, you're not going to absorb the nutrients from these approaches, regardless of how healthy they are. So you're going to be wasting your money at best. And at worst, you can actually be causing more damage in the long run. So when someone comes to me to solve their health concerns, I'm going to almost always begin by asking questions about their gut, about the foods they eat, their current supplements, and even their bathroom habits. To me, that's just kind of like talking about the weather. It has become a joke in our home over the years, between my kids, my grandkids. It's just like nothing's really off limits when it comes to dealing with your digestion and your gut. So we have to dig in. We have to dig in and get there, because there's so much more to maximizing your gut health than simply going gluten-free, popping a few probiotics and just hoping for the best. Now, on the other end of that spectrum, yeah, we can do some extensive gut microbiome testing. And it's expensive, but I'm here to tell you that with what we're going to talk about over the next few weeks, you're going to be able to see and feel a difference, not just in your gut, but also in other areas of your health as well. There's a place for those gut tests, and we do use them. But my thought is, let's get the basics done first, and then if we still aren't getting anywhere, then let's dig in a little deeper with one of the tests. But don't have to do that right off the bat. So that brings me to the topic that we're going to talk about today. Now, this is something that you may or not be familiar with, but we're going to explore the effects of medicinal mushrooms and the positive effect that they have on your gut, which is one of the, and also which ones are the best to use and how can you easily implement them in your daily routine. So if you have ever heard of medicinal mushrooms, put mushrooms in the comments. And if you have not heard about medicinal mushrooms, then welcome to today's call, because you're going to be enlightened. Now, medicinal mushrooms have been used for centuries because of their incredible health benefits and because of their ability to optimize overall performance. They medicinal mushrooms and gut health is really one of their best benefits, but probably one of the least known or appreciated. How can medicinal mushrooms help heal your gut? Well, there's two main functions that I'm going to briefly describe what those are. Number one, medicinal mushrooms impact the gut stress relationship. So whenever the body is under stress, it falls into what we call the fight or flight. Digestion down, it decreases the production of stomach acid. All of those factors happen, and it's good when it's short term. However, because that helps to protect you. But however, when that is long, when that lasts and it becomes more of a chronic issue, it creates a downstream negative impact on your gut health and your digestion. Your digestion thrives in the opposite state called rest and digest, which is your sympathetic or your parasympathetic nervous system. Medicinal mushrooms nourish the nervous system and they buffer that stress response, supporting a healthy digestion and overall gut health. So that's number one. That's the first thing that medicinal mushrooms do. Number two, which I find absolutely fascinating, is that medicinal mushrooms are a very powerful prebiotic superfood. They contain components that are antibacterial, antifungal, antioxidant properties, and they prevent the growth. They prevent actually the growth or the overgrowth of bad bacteria, and they stimulate the growth of your own beneficial bacteria in the gut or your own probiotics. So it's so much better to support your body in creating its own healthy microbiome. That means your bacterial environment that we all have. So by supplying the prebiotic raw material, the innate wisdom of our body that God created knows just how to build a healthy diversity of good bacteria. So that's why when we're starting to work on gut health, we don't want to just dump a whole lot of probiotics or supplements that are designed to kill off the bad bugs until we give the body a chance to grow its own healthy flora. There's definitely a time and a place for probiotics, but even then, just know that they're not all created equal. You think of your flora in your gut as kind of like a garden. When you have a garden, you're planting all these good things in your garden, you know that weeds are going to come up. Well, you can go in and you can kill all those weeds, but sometimes the better thing to do is to plant more plants, get more of the good growing in your garden, and it just sort of overpowers the bad stuff, and the weeds can have no place to grow at that point. So that's kind of the same philosophy that we use when we work on healing the gut flora. It's give your body a chance to build its own diversity, because that's really a key when it comes to a healthy gut is the diversity of the microbiome. Okay, so let's bring it back to the medicinal mushrooms for a minute. We know how they work. We know that they impact the gut health or the gut stress response, and we know that they are prebiotic in nature. So there are several species of medicinal mushrooms. There's a number of different species, but I chose two to mention today because they really are ones that are rise to the top when it comes to the gut health. Number one is the reishi mushroom. The reishi mushroom is mostly known for its impact on the immune system. It has its prebiotic benefits that stimulates the growth of the bifidobacterium and the lactobacillus species. Those are two really good probiotics that you want, but it helps to build your own. It stimulates the growth of your own. And it also has been shown to reverse what we call gut dysbiosis, means reverse the impact of the bad bacteria on your gut. So it buffers that stress response like we talked about, and it decreases inflammation for a stronger immune system. Second mushroom we're going to talk about is the lion's mane. Lion's mane mushroom is really super good for your nervous system. It's probably one of the best mushrooms that impacts your brain. When it comes to our gut, we have what's called an enteric nervous system. That enteric nervous system connects your gut to your brain, and it allows this bacteria, believe it or not, this bacteria and your gut cells actually communicate with your brain. And they influence your mood, they influence your cognition, they influence your cravings, your food patterns, and they influence inflammation in your body. So once again, lion's mane is also a prebiotic, like we talked about. It positively influences that ratio of bacteria in your gut. It also improves your hormone balance, it improves your mood, and it can actually stimulate new nerve growth within your brain, which obviously impacts your mood, your memory, and even your learning. So they've been experimenting with lion's mane for those purposes as well, with people that have different mood disorders and learning issues. This is a rising in the world of neuro health, and because it does affect your brain health. So they're pretty fascinating. But today, in conclusion, medicinal mushrooms and gut health, they go hand in hand. They're so beneficial for your gut because of their prebiotic qualities, and they strengthen your gut barrier, they decrease inflammation, and improve your digestion. Reishi and lion's mane are the two main ones that work towards healing your gut. So how do you add them to your daily routine? Well, I tried mushroom coffee one time, and I tried really hard to like it, but it didn't really work for me. It just didn't have the taste, and it just didn't do what I wanted it to do. So as far as taste is concerned, and it just wasn't a good coffee substitute. But some people really like it. That's one way you can get mushrooms in your daily routine. You can take them in the powder form, but once again, are you actually absorbing what you're taking? Well, I was able to find a source that in liquid form that I can take, here it is, where is it? It's right here, that I can take right under my tongue, or I don't even have to put it under my tongue. I just put it in my mouth, swish it around, and let it just absorb that way. So it's with the name Mood, I don't know if you can see that, but with the name Mood, it's obviously geared to addressing the stress response, which obviously positively affects the gut. But that's really not all that it does, because these mushrooms are what is called adaptogenic. You can actually take Mood in the morning to promote sort of a relaxed state of mind without it making you drowsy. When you take it at night, just 4 pumps at night before you go to bed, I can't promise you this because we can't make any claims, but I can tell you that I've had the best night's sleep, in months, almost even years, since I started taking that at nighttime. And for the last couple of years, I don't know the reasons why. I think maybe, well, I know that there's probably a lot of reasons why my sleep's been affected recently in the last couple of years. And also just my age. I mean, I'm 70, well, I'll be 71 this year. I guess I'm telling you that. I guess that's okay. But anyways, and there are age-related issues with sleep. So there's, of course, I went through menopause years ago, 20 years ago, and dealt with it then. So I can't blame menopause on my sleep issues anymore. I just know that I was waking up 2 or 3 times a night, could not go back to sleep. And it was really starting to affect other areas of my health. So, I tried, it was just an uphill battle. I actually dreaded going to bed at night, but I would try magnesium, I tried melatonin, I tried valerian root, I tried ashwagandha, all the tips that I tell everyone else to do. And, it wasn't working until I added the mushroom tinctures. And in this mushroom tincture, they also have some additional amino acids like L-theanine and GABA, which are just absolutely amazing at enhancing sleep. And it's perfectly safe. Unlike taking melatonin for extended periods of time, you don't want to do that. And that's another whole conversation. However, all I can say is that I have been dreaming every single night since I take this, and my sleep scores are well into the 80s consistently. So, oh, and I forgot to tell you the most important part, in addition to everything, this has a unique property called nanocell technology. The particles in here are so tiny. They go right into your bloodstream immediately through the mucous membranes in your mouth. They bypass your digestion altogether. So you don't need to rely on a healthy gut to even absorb these. It's just that you get an immediate response. So if you are struggling with your sleep, if you're struggling with your stress, if you're struggling with your gut, I don't care. I'm going to drop a link in the comments if you really want to learn more about this and if you want to try it for yourself. It's one of the best things I have ever found for that. Also, I want you to mark your calendars for August 29th. I'm going to be hosting a free masterclass on gut health for weight loss, immunity, and just overall health in general. So in the meantime, I would love it if you would invite your friends to this Facebook group here. I'm going to be posting things about gut health. I'm going to be doing our lives every Monday. And I want you to catch the videos, and I want you to invite people. And then the most importantly, I want to help you get your gut in tip-top shape before this flu season comes and before the holidays are upon us. So that's all I have for today. Keep shining that beautiful light of yours, and I will see you back next week.